Months and months of preparation, and this is the week it all starts to pay off for Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. It's draft day. The level of lacrosse talent is off the charts. Along with the former Virginia Cavalier midfielder Dana Boyle, I'm Joe Beninati. It's our pleasure to welcome all of you. We're happy to have you, our Facebook Live audience, and doubly grateful to all of those Unlimited Club members. This is really good company for me. Dana, you're going to be keeping us company as our draft analyst for the next 5 weeks, and an amazing season ahead. And we've talked about this. It's a unique format, and especially the field of play. What stands out to you?
I think, Joe, you mentioned it. It is the field of play. It's 9v9, but it's 6v6 in the half field. So if I'm an attacker, I got a lot of room to dodge. But if I'm a defender, I need to make sure that we're a cohesive group and get that slide package down pat. As
we get to know the players, they've all been talking to us about developing a chemistry, a camaraderie, but their lineups are going to be changing from week to week as we get set for this inaugural draft. What challenges do all those alterations present?
I think it is a challenge, but you can also look at it as an opportunity. You have an opportunity to play with different players every week, and some of them have played together in college, some of them have played on the national team, but this is an opportunity to really explore and develop those relationships week to week.
Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse is going to be awarding points to the players based on how well their teams perform and how well they perform individually. Dana, let's take a peek at the formula here, and it's very interesting as to how the individual points will be awarded.
I would agree. I think what stands out to me the most is the cause turnover. Oftentimes, you don't get rewarded as a defender or making a really big play in the midfield. So if you're getting a cause turnover, that's plus 12. But then on the flip side, if you're turning the ball over, that's -8. So you can dig yourself into a pretty deep hole.
Teams going to be winning points by quarter. Cumulative score, you see how it will add up quickly. MVP points will also factor in at the end of games, with the overall game MVP earning 60 points for herself, as we are making our way into Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse's inaugural season in 2021. Time for us to introduce you to our captains for week one. Wearing the purple, the royal purple, we should say. Katie O'Donnell is the captain, midfielder, and a member of the U.S. national team, and a player who ignites offense.
Absolutely. I mean, she had a great career at Penn State. She was the reason why they reached back-to-back Final Four, so I'm excited to see her on the field and who she makes in this first pick.
Facilitators are advisors. They're helpers to the captains from week to week. They'll be moving from team to team. Shanta Lecker starts as Katie's facilitator, and she's in the Zoom room awaiting Katie O'Donnell's first pick, and we'll be dropping in and out of the Zoom room, seeing how the new teammates get along. As we move further and introduce you to the blue team captain, an outstanding defender, another U.S. national team member in Meg Dowdy.
Meg Dowdy, if you have watched her play, she is like a brick wall. That's how her teammates describe her. Just such a solid defender and will be so key in this league.
The athletes play for causes in Athletes Unlimited. She's playing for Play For, which enables youth to play for things that matter. Lauren Kahn is the facilitator for Team Dowdy. Good evening to Lauren. As we press on, Angie Benson's team in this opening week of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse will be dressed in orange, and some love for the goaltenders. I like it.
Yes, I think goalkeepers don't get enough love, and this is a league that's really going to propel what they do on the field. There's so much skill at that position, and Angie Benson has it. She had a great career at Virginia Tech, and I'm excited to see her play.
Fabulous numbers for Angie there with the Hokies. Abby Jackson is the facilitator for the Orange squad in week one, which brings us, last but not least, to the goal team. And Kylie Ohlmiller, a player who has so much spunk and energy and pop to her offensive game.
And a very decorated player, and I love that Athletes Unlimited is playing for something more than just lacrosse. For Kylie, it's Headstrong Foundation, which is improving the quality of life for those affected by cancer. It's so important. It is so much bigger than lacrosse, and it's a great way to unite everyone who's playing.
Monster numbers for Kylie at Stony Brook, 498 points worth. Amanda Johansson is the facilitator for Team Gold. Let's set you up for how this Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse Draft will unfold. Each team will have 14 players on it, 56 players in the entire league. 13 rounds of picks we're setting you up for tonight. The purple team, Katie O'Donnell's, will draft first, 4-3-2-1. Then we'll snake back. Kylie will have 2 picks. Each captain has 2 minutes per pick. And this is the way the teams will break out in their groups of 14.
And I think it's important to look at these draft rules and see how are these players, how are these captains going to be strategic in picking them. I look at Meg Dowdy, she's a defender. Is she going to pick another defender, or maybe she picks an attacker to kind of keep the ball away from the defensive end? So the strategy behind all of these picks, and they change from week to week.
A whole lot of talented people on that screen. A lot of players to keep tabs on. We'll do our best to keep you informed as the draft goes along. Remember, 4 midfielders, 4 attackers, 4 defenders, and 2 goalies. As Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse's draft begins, we are going to start with Team Purple on the clock and Katie O'Donnell.
Katie's ready. Stand by in 3.
For my first pick, midfielder Taylor Cummings.
Taylor Cummings goes number 1 overall in the Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse Draft, and Taylor, a 3-time Tewaaraton winner out of the University of Maryland.
To say I am not really surprised by that pick. I mean, she's the only one to win the Tewaaraton 3 times. No man or woman can say that. Just an incredible player. The fact that she's still playing, I mean, what she does for the game on and off the field is amazing, and she's a great player to have on your team.
Taylor told us those Tewaaraton trophies, they're really team trophies that just happen to live in her house. And she houses them well. Taylor Cummings for Katie O'Donnell, the number 1 overall pick. Team Dowdy is on the clock with the second pick in the opening round. There's Taylor. Meg Dowdy will choose the second overall selection.
My first pick, I'm choosing Sam Apuzzo.
What am I hearing?
For my first pick, Sam Apuzzo, attack.
Attacker Sam Puzo. Sam Apuzzo, another Tewaaraton Trophy winner, and phenomenal in terms of her abilities to win draws, which is going to earn her individual points, score goals, add up assists. That's a do-it-all type player.
You mentioned it, Joe. The draw is going to be key, and that's an area that Sam really excels at.
Meg Dowdy's pick has been confirmed, which moves us to the third overall pick in round 1. And Team Benson.
My first pick will be midfielder Marie McCool.
Marie McCool. Take the game over type ability. You told me when we were talking about Marie's game. You said she has a presence about her that just makes the spotlight gravitate towards her.
Absolutely, and she has such a good mind for the game. She's got speed in the midfield, and that's going to be so important. You want to give her the ball in a game.
Taylor Cummings, number 1. Sam Apuzzo, number 2. Marie McCool is the third overall pick, which brings us to Kylie Ohlmiller in the first round.
My first overall pick, Kayla Trainer, attack.
Kayla Trainer scored 4 times in scrimmages that were held, and when you watch Kayla play, there's, from a defender's standpoint, I would imagine, how in the world am I going to guard this player?
Kayla Trainer, she's going to dazzle you, whether she's scoring, picking up a ground ball, getting a draw control. She just does it all, and she has had such an incredible career at Syracuse, and now she's going to take over the program on the women's side. She's just a real figure for this game.
Dynamic finisher all around the cage. We mentioned that Kylie in this draft into round 2 will snake back, so Kylie will have pick number 5. If you're Kylie and you have your big gun, do you go for another score, or do you start to look at the other half of the field?
For me, not being a defender, I would want to pick a defender. I think Kayla Trainer is exceptional on the attack, and maybe having someone, whether it's a goalkeeper or a defender, that can kind of help you on the defensive end.
Let's begin the second round.
My next pick is Dempsey Arsenal, midfield.
Dempsey Arsenal will follow and join Kayla Trainer for Kylie Ohlmiller's Team Gold in the first week of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Arsenal, the player who glides just effortlessly from line to line.
Dempsey Arsenal, she has legs for the midfield. I mean, she is such a great two-way midi. She showed that at Boston College. She played great in the WPLL. So to see her get picked along with Kayla Trainer and Kylie Miller, that's going to be a team you want to watch.
And like you, I want to say, from New Hampshire?
Yes. Got to represent New England.
You better brag a little bit. That fifth pick, the first and the second round, has been confirmed, which brings us to Angie Benson and Team Orange.
Attacker, Kenzie Kent.
Kenzie Kent is the next selection. And more eye-popping goal-scoring talent that just leaps off the page. A two-sport athlete who also played hockey at Boston College.
She was, and she's so creative in her play, and she's also a lefty. So I feel like if you're a lefty, you automatically get cool points and style points, and she's really in her prime right now and just a great player overall.
Kenzie was telling us that she believes the Athletes Unlimited model is the best pro model the sport's ever had. Now she's going to have the opportunity to star in it as she is joined Team Benson for Week 1 play. Brings us to our third pick in the second round for Meg Dowdy. We mentioned the facilitators and the Zoom rooms, and as the players fill up, I'm sure the Zoom room information to the captain's ears is going to get louder and louder.
I think there's a Zoom chat function going on between all of the captains, and it's just a really strategic way that you can pick your team and make sure that you're getting the best team that you can possibly put week to week.
Let's see who Meg will add to her roster already with Sam Apuzzo aboard.
For my second pick, I choose Emily Peros, midfield.
Emily Peros, North Carolina, class of 2013, if memory serves.
Yes.
And I kept asking you about Emily, and you said, well, she'll burn you. That doesn't make me feel comfortable if I'm a defender either.
No, I mean, she's a workhorse. She's so good in between the 30s. She had such a great career in Carolina playing that midfield role, and she has won a title at all levels as a player. And so now to have someone like her on staff at UNC, now she's going to play in the professional league, that just adds a lot of value to Athletes Unlimited.
Katie O'Donnell will close the second round.
For my second pick, goalie, Kaylee Waters.
And Kaylee Waters, as the teams are getting ready for their opening weekend in scrimmages, Waters made 10 stops in her half of play and was extremely formidable. Looks like the kind of keeper who can keep you in any game.
I think if you're a two-time National Goalkeeper of the Year at North Carolina and she's continued to play and excel at every level, I mean, getting the opportunity to play at Athletes Unlimited against some really good sharpshooters, I mean, she's going to shine.
Most folks believe that she would be the first goaltender taken, and indeed it is Kaylee Waters, the Connecticut native, who joins Katie O'Donnell's squad. Katie will have the first pick in round 3. Two rounds complete, Dana. Any surprises?
Not particularly.
No?
I maybe would have thought more defenders would have been picked, but I do see the strategy that Kylie went with two midfielders, and then picking up players like Taylor Cummings, Kayla Trainer, Marie McCool. I mean, all of those players have been standout players, but also really good advocates for the game.
Folks, just want to let you know that Athletes Unlimited is welcoming fans to the game. Tickets are available for select games at Maureen Hendricks Field in Boyds, Maryland. Be sure to come out and see us live in person this Sunday. That's July 25th. The games are at noon and 3 p.m. Eastern. Ticket information available at auprosports.com. Again, fans will be welcome at select games. Be sure to check out the schedule and ticket availability. If you can't be there with us in person, watch all season long on CBS Sports Network, FS1, FS2. We'll also be streaming live on our digital platforms. You can find all the ticket and tune-in details at auprosports.com. auprosports.com. To start round 3, back to Katie O'Donnell.
For my third pick, attacker, Courtney Fortunato.
And Courtney Fortunato, another player who took great interest from her earlier scrimmage performance, a hat trick, but a player who is well regarded nonetheless.
She had a great career at Notre Dame, and like you mentioned, Joe, we were talking about it earlier, her scrimmage performance, something like that can really impact a draft. So for her to do really well in a scrimmage, it does make sense that she would get selected so early on in round 3.
Former National Rookie of the Year out of Notre Dame. Second pick in round 3 belongs to Meg Dowdy.
We choose Lindsey Mccomb, midfield.
Lindsey Mccomb, who tells us that her style is to just leave it all on the field game after game.
And she's a player that is all over the field. She made the switch from midfield to defense playing college at Northwestern, so I'm excited to see her back in that midfield slot. She's just has a great mindset for the game, and she's a workhorse. She's never going to stop, and she's really impressive for a midfielder.
With a fist pump, so happy to be on board. Lindsey said that Athletes Unlimited was a dream come true for her. The third pick in round 3 for Angie Benson and Team Orange.
Defense, Becca Block.
There's our first defender. Selected, former standout from Syracuse.
Becca Black, we were talking about her earlier. You mentioned her name, and I was like, oh my goodness, she is an unreal defender. She's quick, she's do it all. She also is the associate head coach at Harvard, so I think that's something interesting also to take into account with this league. You do have a lot of player coaches, and how that plays out on the field I think will be really interesting.
She says that Lax has given her so much, a great school, her best friends, traveling the world, and now a chance for her to play professionally in Athletes Unlimited. Soon to close out round 3. Team Oldmiller wearing gold this weekend. Following Trainer and Arsenal, 2 people who can put the ball in the cage.
I would agree nonetheless. I think either a goalkeeper or a defender might be a smart move here. We'll see what she picks.
Kylie, what say you?
My next pick is Allie Kennedy, midfield.
Allie Kennedy. Now, I'm thinking that they are twins, or that at least they're clones and mini-me's of each other. Just watching their style of play, that's what jumps off the page.
Former Seawolf. I know they got a lot of pride there. I think for Allie Kennedy, she is a firecracker to me. She loves to play behind the cage, and she's so sharp in the way that she shoots and the way that she finds the cage. She's got a real knack for it.
Folks, now's the time to like or share Athletes Unlimited. Make sure that you tag us in your posts. Hashtag #BeUnlimited, and you can follow across social media platforms at AU Pro Sports. Joe Beninati, Dana Boyle with you. This is the first ever Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse Draft, the only league driven entirely by the athletes. 3 rounds quickly in the books. If you are just tuning in, Taylor Cummings was the number 1 overall selection, joining Katie O'Donnell's squad. Sam Apuzzo went 2nd. Marie McCool 3rd overall, and Kayla Trainer rounded out round 1. When we resume, the draft snakes back to Team Oldmiller with the first pick in round 4. And she has it ready.
My next pick is Haley Warden, midfield.
The selection is Haley Warden, who helped to put James Madison lacrosse on the map.
And when I think of Haley Warden, I think of connector. What can she do to make the pieces fall into place? She had a great career at James Madison, and I saw her put those pieces together. So if you have someone like Haley Warden on your team, she's going to make it work, and she's going to make your team be successful.
With a pick confirmed, she and her family, they tell us that they like the card game euchre. All about euchre, you rely on your partner, and she'll need that, obviously, in Athletes Unlimited. Second pick in round 4. Mulling that over, Angie Benson. We were talking about Angie specifically, and her point of view is that she wants to help instill confidence in the young generation. Young ladies now are going to see these players at the top elite level and have something to push past as far as a pinnacle beyond Division I that is not necessarily the national team, and that comes in the form of Athletes Unlimited.
I would agree. I think you look at Athletes Unlimited and you look at what these players are playing for, it is possible to play at the next level, and they all stand for something greater than themselves and greater than lacrosse. And what better role models to have on the stage than Athletes Unlimited?
And told me she's not going to be afraid to take some chances outside the goal circle. So get involved, get upfield. Goalies can score in this league.
Which to me, I love that difference from the college game. You know, there were so many times where I would be watching a college game and I'm like, these goalkeepers have the skills to take it all the way, and no longer is a goalie the worst player on the field. I would argue that they're probably the best.
Angie, we've tap danced long enough for you. Give us your selection in round 4.
Midfielder, Sidney Parekha.
Sidney Parekha, who basically knocked my eyes out earlier during scrimmage play. A former gymnast who went for 5 points in the scrimmage, 3 goals, 2 assists. And if you do that in an Athletes Unlimited game and you and your teammates win quarters and win games, you're going to rocket up the leaderboard.
I would agree. And as a midfielder, that is your sole job. You know, talk about another player coach. She's the assistant coach at Syracuse, just a great player, had a great career at Florida. So to have someone that strong in the midfield, that's going to really be a big boost for your team.
An advocate of healthy eating and nutrition. That'll be important over the next 5 weeks as these players are going through a grueling, what will turn out to be a 30-game schedule before all is said and done. We're about to finish, or rather get to the 3rd pick now in round 4, belonging to Meg Dowdy.
We choose Katrina Dowd, attack.
Katrina Dowd, who just returned back to the country, I want to say a little more than a week ago, coming back from Germany.
She is a player. I mean, how much time do you have to talk about it? I feel like we could do a whole show on Katrina Dowd. I mean, when I think of lacrosse, when I was growing up and watching, she was it. You know, she was the player that changed the game. There's been many players after her that have changed it, but she's such a staple for this sport, and I'm so excited for everyone to get to watch her talent on display.
Exceptional creativity. The ladies who wear purple, captained by Team O'Donnell, have the last pick in round 4.
Attacker, Michelle Tumulo.
Appropriately enough, on the heels of a Katrina Dowd pick comes Michelle Tumulo. And you said that Tumulo and Dowd, the stick is their weapon.
I mean, using your stick to be creative is how the game has changed. And those two players, I couldn't think of better players to do so. Michelle Tumulo, she's always learning, assessing, and upping her game, which is really impressive. You know, she was an excellent player at Syracuse, but I would argue that she's better now.
Congratulations to the new head coach at Army, right? The United States
Yes,
Military
yes.
Academy. A couple of her players just finished up their beast training. Were they ever happy to see her? Been thinking about lacrosse. We are going to snake to round 5 and start right back with Captain Katie O'Donnell.
Midfielder, Alyssa Perella.
Alyssa Perella comes off the board. Dana Boyle, our draft analyst, said 3 words: goal-scoring machine.
I stand by him. I stand by him. We are going to get a show in Athletes Unlimited with her on the field.
Dad Cosmo, her biggest fan. I'm sure both of them amazed to hear her voice now in the collegiate draft and now in this first draft for Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. 2nd pick in round 5 for Team Dowdy. Meg in conversation with her Zoom room and with her facilitator, Lauren Kahn. The numbers are growing for Team Dowdy. Before all is said and done, each team will have 14 players to fill out the lineup. Remember, 4 midfielders, 4 attackers, 4 defenders, and 2 goalies. Meg, you're up.
Ella Simpkins, defense.
Ella Simpkins is next in line. And she told us once she picked up a lacrosse stick, she could never put it back down.
Such a solid defender. I like to call her the cause turnover queen. She had a great career at Syracuse. You know, she has a knack for the ground balls, and she's fierce, and she is that steady force. So I think when you look at Athletes Unlimited and the way that it's structured, defense is going to be huge. You're really exposed, and you are in some ways on an island, so you got to work with that slide package, constant communication, and she's a great person to have on your team for those reasons.
You talked about caused turnovers. Those will add up quickly in your leaderboard total. 3rd pick in round 5 for Angie Benson.
Attacker, Molly Stevens.
Going back to the offensive end of the field, and Molly Stevens. Molly, who played at Florida, class of 2017, former captain of the Gators. Molly knows a few friends from Athletes Unlimited softball and volleyball. Those athletes telling her so many good things about how Athletes Unlimited lacrosse should unfold. The last pick in round 5 is being pondered now by Kylie Ohlmiller. Trainer, Arsenault, Kennedy, and Warden. A productive, you would imagine, productive unit already there on her list. Each captain has 2 minutes to make the pick, as we will have 13 rounds of business, nearing the midway mark of this Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse Draft. The athletes are the leaders and the decision makers in this league. Kylie's ready.
Kayla Wood, defense.
Kayla Wood, this is a Tar Heel reunion, isn't it?
I mean, Kayla Wood is incredible. You know, she didn't have a starting role at North Carolina this year and then slowly worked her way because she was such a key cog in that defensive end. I mean, her communication, her footwork is insane. It's out of this world. So I'm excited to see her coming off a really good college season directly to Athletes Unlimited.
She was speaking about how Athletes Unlimited was more diverse. She was the only person of color on her team at North Carolina. She's the final pick of round 5, which means we stay with Kylie Ohlmiller in the way this draft snakes back and forth. Round 6 will add another player to the team that'll be wearing gold this weekend at Maureen Hendricks Field in Boyd's, Maryland. Tickets will be available. Fans will be in attendance for Sunday's doubleheader. These teams very, very busy. Friday, Saturday, Sunday doubleheaders for 5 straight weeks. 30 games in total.
And I think it's interesting, too, like you mentioned, Joe, there are so many games, which is amazing for fans and viewers. And there's a reason why a lot of these captains are picking so many midfielders and attackers. I mean, if you're a midi, you are going to run significantly.
Fans, if you want to get even closer to the game, join the Unlimited Club for free today. Make your Lacrosse Unlimited pick when you join to unlock content from your favorite athlete's Unlimited player. Or you can upgrade your free membership for a whole year of benefits. It includes behind-the-scenes access, voting for game MVPs, exclusive giveaways, and more. 10% of the proceeds from the memberships going directly to the additional player bonus pool. Join the Unlimited Club by downloading the official Athletes Unlimited mobile app from the App Store or Google Play Store and get in on all the fun today. We are ready to rock for round 6. The first pick in that round for Team Ohlmiller.
Hallie Majorana, attack.
Hallie Majorana. When I was watching her work with Fortunato in practice and in scrimmage games, those two seemed to click.
She's got some flashiness to her, but don't mistake the flashiness because she does have a lot of substance to her game. And I loved watching her play at Syracuse, and she's got a real mind for the game. And to have her on your team as an attacker, that's bonus points.
Hallie said that this Athletes Unlimited opportunity would be awesome to have this quality of player on the main stage. Eager for the next generation to watch their play unfold. Remember, as we describe these picks and itemize them, Dana, that each captain has to be mindful, just 4 midfielders, just 4 attackers, 4 defenders, and 2 goalies to round out your team of 14. Ohlmiller has not taken a goalie yet. She has 3 attackers of 4 on her roster. Speaking of goalies, Angie Benson has the next pick, and you see how the players have been selected and deployed to their teams to this point. In the middle of round 6 with Angie Benson.
Defender, Tiana Walfer.
Tiana Walfer comes off the board. She'll be wearing 3. The players will keep their numbers. They'll be in the same number, different colors perhaps from week to week. Walfer The sport of lacrosse, she says, is bigger than all of us. Thrilled to join these female pioneers in Athletes Unlimited.
And really, at the end of the day, I think they all have this shared message of that. It is so much bigger than lacrosse. What are they playing for? It's themselves, it's each other, it's the cohesivity. And I think lacrosse is so special. And to be able to perform on the stage that Athletes Unlimited has given them is just going to grow the sport even more.
Next pick in round 6 of 13 this evening, belongs to Meg Dowdy. And you see that she made Sam Apuzzo her first selection in round 1. Ella Simpkins is her last up until this one.
Molly Garrett, midfield.
Molly Garrett is the selection. Former Wolverine captain, 3 times a captain, so that means there's an abundance of leadership quality.
And I think Molly Garrett as a player, she is that team on your back type of player. So when you look at this league, yes, it's about individual performance, but at the end of the day, a player like Molly Garrett, she's going to propel your team forward because it is that team mentality that really is going to make you successful.
The Zoom room for Team Dowdy continues to grow. And as they mull over selections, Molly Garrett's draft pick has been confirmed, which brings us back to the end of round 4 and Katie O'Donnell.
Defender, Kristen Carr.
Cookie's off the board. Kristen Carr, age 32, Baltimore, Maryland native, not far from where we are. Former semi-pro soccer player.
Just all around athletic. When I think of Kristen Carr, she is that player coach, but she's also a phenomenal player. She was in college, and she's another player who I truly think has gotten faster, stronger, and better at her game and is really perfecting her craft.
Likely to be the rock on your defense. And she spoke of the fearless women who preceded her in the likes of professional soccer, athletes like Mia Hamm and Julie Dowdy, who had such a tremendous, Julie Foudy, who had such a tremendous, made an impression on her in that way. Kristen Carr is the final selection in round 6, bringing us to round 7. And that'll be another choice for the team wearing purple on the opening weekend of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. Players will be receiving points based on how their team performs and how they perform individually. So when you are watching our telecasts on CBS Sports Network or FS1 or FS2, and as those games unfold, you're going to be seeing the leaderboard flashed in quite regularly. Those players earning points both for team and for their individual work on the field.
And that's why these captains take so much time and put so much thought behind their picks, because it is important. It is important that you can get that cause turnover and you can get that point, but it's also important who's going to have the least amount of turnovers. That's also going to work against you and your team as a whole.
Every moment counts in this season. It's compressed, it's energetic, it's going to be very, very exciting. And Katie O'Donnell figures to be right in the heat of it all. She's the captain for the team wearing purple in week 1. She has 15 seconds remaining to make her selection. Team O'Donnell, her facilitators, Shanta Lecker, helping out, as are her teammates. And the pick is in for round 7 to begin.
Attack, Sammy Jo Tracy.
Sammy Jo Tracy. As the teams are scrimmaging during the week, Sammy had the highlight goal of either game. It was a take your breath away kind of goal, and she says she likes to play offensively and add a little spice. Nothing comes normal.
When I think of her, she is that spice, spunk, creative player. And, she talked about how she's really honed in on her regiment. She's eating healthy, and she really wants to be the best athlete that she can be.
Bonded with her dad, Dan, over the sport of lacrosse. And Dan and Cheryl, mom and dad, will be watching Sammy Jo as she works in Athletes Unlimited. Round 7 continues. The second pick of the round belongs to Team Dowdy. Meg's squad will be wearing blue in the opening weekend. 4-year starter was Meg for the Terrapins in College Park, a National Defender of the Year. And you've addressed this with me. You think her skill set is getting better?
Yes. Yes, her lateral movement is out of this world, and she did it at Maryland, and she's doing it now in all of the professional leagues that she's played in.
That's Dana Boyle. She would know what she's speaking of, a former Virginia Cavalier midfielder who had to dig in defensively more than your fair share. I get.
No.
Which was your favorite side of the field? Go, right?
Attack, yes,
Go,
yes.
Go,
Defense,
play offense.
It's the same thing. It's defenders and goalkeepers. They do not get enough love and praise because what they do on their end of the field is extremely difficult, and they often, don't get the glory, and they're often exposed a lot by players like Kayla Trainer. But when you make a big stop, that's huge.
Almost and just approaching the midway mark of a 13-round draft in Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse are we. Awaiting the second pick in round 7. Captain for the team wearing blue this weekend is Meg Dowdy, mulling over her decision with the teammates in her Zoom room with her facilitator, Lauren Kahn. The facilitators are advisors. They're helpers. They'll be involved in the drafts from week to week. They'll be involved on the sideline. Obviously, the captains are going to be working feverishly as the games play out. They'll need a little bit of assistance as Meg is ready with her pick in round 7.
Lindsey Ronbeck, attack.
Lindsey Ronbeck is the selection. And Lindsey is a player who can score goals very, very quickly. She is a microwave when it comes to offense.
And if you turn your head as a defender for even a half a second, she's going to exploit you and she's going to go to cage. She's quick and she really keeps defenders on her toes, so that's a smart pick by Dowdy.
This player said it was awesome to play with and against the idols and role models who helped form her as a lacrosse player. Lindsey Ronbeck, a pro in Athletes Unlimited and taken in the 7th round with pick number 30 overall. Bringing us to Angie Benson and her selection in the 7th.
Midfielder Taylor Vanthoff.
Wasting no time, Angie Benson taking Taylor Vanthoff. Vanthoff saying that all the camaraderie that's going to unfold over the next 5 weeks will be just fantastic. The new rules, and she was looking forward to the creativity that's going to allow her.
And I also think it's important, the creativity aspect, but also, again, draw controls. You can be creative on the offensive end as a midfielder, but your job is in between the field to get those ground balls. And Taylor Vanthoff, she still holds the Loyola draw control record. So that's something that's important to note. She's also another player coach.
Great height on the draw control,
And
right?
height,
She's got to
yes.
be 6 foot, close to 6'1".
Her and her sister have that in their favor.
Older sister Taryn will be selected before this draft is through. As we're waiting for the final pick in round 7, it belongs to Kylie Oldmiller. Just about 40 minutes total running time into this draft are we. And once Kylie makes this selection in round 7, we'll bring you up to speed on the full rosters and how they've played out so far. Kylie, in round 7, please.
Caroline Wakefield, defense.
Caroline Wakefield is the pick. Number 23, North Carolina. Michael Jordan, say you? Yes.
I think she's earned that number. She's another key cog, or was a key cog in the UNC's defense. You look at Kayla Wood, you look at Caroline Wakefield, their skill on the defensive end, their quick footwork, their ability to stay with their defender, attacker 1v1. 1v1 defense is going to be huge. If you can't play 1v1 defense in this league, then you're not going to be able to play team defense.
Caroline was looking forward to the networking, the building of a brand and marketing yourself. And these athletes now have stacked up as we have completed 7 rounds of the draft. Dana, have a peek. Tell us what you think and sort of give us a forecast perhaps as to what's to come in the remaining 6 rounds.
I think for all of the teams, everyone has an opportunity to pick a goalkeeper, so I'll be interested to see how they strategize that. Obviously, Angie Benson for Orange, Team Orange, is a goalkeeper, so how does that work? Do you pick another defender first? Do you pick a goalkeeper? But each have the opportunity to still select that position.
Waters is the only goalie off the board so far,
Yes.
if memory serves. She went in round number 2. So we are set to begin round 8. Kylie Ohlmiller finished the 7th round with Caroline Wakefield. She opens the 8th round now.
Brittany Reed, goalie.
There's a netminder, Brit Reed, captain, played at Oregon, first 3 years of her collegiate career at Louisville.
And I do have to mention that she is a Taylor Swift fan. That is important.
That's very important.
That's very important.
Is that
to me.
something that I need to learn over the next
Yes.
4 to 5 weeks?
Memorize the lyrics.
So when we huddle up again on Monday the
Yes.
26th, you're going to bring more lyrics
Absolutely.
to the table?
I will.
Ay. It's way over my head.
We gotta have some fun.
Round 8, second pick. Definitely. Brit Reed, who's going to be playing for Team England in the World Cup. Her father grew up in England, her late dad who passed away there. Angie Benson, smiling and ready with her pick in round 8.
Midfielder, Grace Gabriel.
Grace Gabriel comes off the board. 3 years a starter out of Marquette.
And it's also important to mention that this is going to be Grace's first professional lacrosse opportunity. So that, to me, is exciting. If you are a young laxer and you are watching this league, you have an opportunity to also be a professional player. There is opportunity for you.
You'll hear us during the season, the 5-week season ahead, discussing the Player Executive Committee, the PEC. Grace reached out to a PEC member in Michelle Tumulo and to gauge her interest as to whether or not she could be part of this league, and they welcomed her with open arms. Grace Gabriel selected in the 8th round, bringing us back to Team Dowdy.
Molly Little, defense.
Hello, Molly Little. She will wear 66 in your program, and it's great to see Molly back on the field, an athlete who's had some hip trouble in the past, seemed to be running extremely well when we were watching her work out.
And I think that's an important point, Joe. She is a really versatile defender, and specifically in transition, that is where she feels most comfortable, running the ball from the defensive end and safely getting it to the attacking end. And if you're a defender, that's a huge skill to have.
Former Big East Defender of the Year with the Pioneers of Denver. As we are stretching now to the latter stages of round 8, Katie O'Donnell's team is on the clock. O'Donnell, who began
Midfielder, Kelly McPartland.
another Terrapin comes off the board in Kaylee McPartland. She says she's 28 years old, but she eats like a 5-year-old. She runs extremely well for a 5-year-old.
She was and still is a very fast midfielder, so that is a great pick by Team O'Donnell.
Brings us to the end of round 8 once that pick is confirmed. As we let you know, Unlimited Club members, here we go. Time to reveal tonight's code. If you're an Unlimited Club member, open up the official Athletes Unlimited app. Enter Draft Day 01 in the fan code. That's Draft Day 01. You'll be receiving 10,000 points for tuning in tonight. Points will unlock rewards, and you'll climb up the fan leaderboard. The app is free to download. You can find it in the Apple App Store or your Google Play. Download tonight. Join the fun with us all season long. Joe Beninati and Dana Boyle having fun in our Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse Draft that has moved through round 8. Still awaiting confirmation on Katie O'Donnell's most recent pick. It would be the number 36 overall pick. Kaylee McPartland now has been confirmed in round 8, joining up with Katie O'Donnell's squad. Been away from the game. Kelly's been away for a couple of years, so see how quickly her skills return.
I continue to be impressed with how far removed some of these players are, some of which I've played with, and they just don't skip a beat. You know, maybe they're not as fast or as quick, but it's their mind that develops. I think we joke all the time as former lacrosse players, if I only had an opportunity to go back and play at my age, I'm much smarter as a player. I'd make much better decisions.
The Zoom room for Team O'Donnell growing with Kaylee McPartland. Katie O'Donnell is set to begin round 9 for us.
Attacker, Taylor Hench.
Taylor Hench is the selection. Remember, folks, no set teams. So you can follow your favorite players all season long. They may be bouncing from team to team. We have these weekly drafts. The captains will select their teams. The top 4 on the leaderboard from week to week will be named captain and drafting new sides as we progress through the 2021 Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse season. Taylor Hench's selection to start round 9 has been confirmed. Meg Dowdy wasting no time, continuing round 9.
Haley Hicklin, goalie.
In the nets, Haley Hicklin, who played collegiately at Florida, coaching nowadays in Steeltown with the Panthers of Pitt.
I think that's a really smart pick as a goalkeeper for Team Dowdy. Still got one more goalkeeper left to draft, but I would want to scoop up the best goalkeeper because they're going to see a lot of shots, and you want someone that you feel confident with back in cage.
Goalies obviously will earn individual points for saves, for ground balls, potentially for caused turnovers if they leave the cage and make a takeaway check. Obviously, everybody on your team wins when you win the quarter and wins when you win the game. 25 points per quarter, 55 points per game. As you see, the athletes that are remaining by position, each team has to have 4 attack, 4 midfield, 4 defenders, 2 keepers before it's all said and done. There's still a glut of defenders remaining to be chosen. As we continue with round 9, each team has 2 minutes per pick. Goalie Angie Benson ready to add to her squad that's going to be wearing orange.
Defender, Katrina Geiger.
Katrina Geiger, who's been getting some rave reviews for her footwork, her decision-making, her ability to take you off your angle if you're making your way to goal.
And we mentioned it earlier at the top of the show, 1v1 defense is going to be huge. It's huge in the 7v7 game in NCAA play, but it's going to be even more apparent and more pertinent that you play good 1v1 defense so you can help your team defense really excel.
And in the scrimmages, Geiger is a defender who contributed a goal.
Yes.
Buffo, that's going to really boost you up the leaderboard in a hurry. Round 9, closing it out. The pick belongs to Team Ohlmiller.
Taryn Van Thoff, midfield.
Taryn Van Thoff out of Loyola. And when I asked you to describe her type of game, you said she does everything well. So that's an easy selection for a captain to take.
Yes. I mean, I think you could say that about every player in this league. And it also is important to note that for Team Ohlmiller, they've got 4 middies, so they're capped out on midfielders.
Folks, you can dress like the pros with official Athletes Unlimited attire featuring high-performance Nike gear with the Athletes Unlimited logo. Find everything you need to look and feel unlimited on and off the field. Visit shop.auprosports.com. That's shop.auprosports.com. Onward and upward, round 10 will begin with Kylie Ohlmiller. This is 10 of 13 rounds, and now the captains have to check out by position to fill out the ranks. Four attackers, 4 midfielders, 4 defenders, and 2 goalies is the design. Dana, talk about the momentum that lacrosse is experiencing right now, coming off a tremendous NCAA tournament for the women. The men's leagues are doing extremely well, the pro leagues, and now Athletes Unlimited breaks ground this weekend.
It's really exciting. And as a fan and as a former player, I want all of these women to have the opportunities that they deserve. And this is a great platform, and it's a great stage for them to showcase their talents, but also what's important to them off the field.
Kylie Oldmiller kicks off round 10.
Kyrah Pelton, defense.
Kyrah Pelton comes off the board. Played out west at Stanford, and she was telling us about times that she and her teammates would spend weekends rollerblading in Golden Gate Park. Not a bad way to take your mind off of the schoolwork and the travails of a lacrosse season. Kyrah Pelton's pick has been confirmed to start round 10, bringing us to Team Benson. Angie took Marie McCool right off the top. Her last pick was defender Katrina Geiger. Who's next?
Attacker, Shayna Parekha.
Shayna Parekha, a competitive gymnast from first grade through seventh. And the Parekha sisters were saying, you know, gymnasts learn how to fall. Not that you're going to get knocked down all that much, but they would do it and forward roll out of it whenever it happened.
And also for an attacker, balance is key, which is a skill that can be translated from gymnastics. So if you're an attacker and you're going up against a defender, you've got to learn to balance and take some of those hits, take some of those checks and be able to absorb them and still find a way to get to cage.
Team room, the Zoom room for Angie Benson is growing. Meg Dowdy has this selection in round 10.
Katie Hirsch, defense.
Is that RoboCop? It is. Katie Hirsch played collegiately at Hofstra. She was talking to us about being relevant lacrosse at the pro level, in the pro world. From an unassuming collegiate program, Hirsch, the latest to be selected in round 10, bringing us to the end of the round. A choice belonging to Katie O'Donnell. Lots of conversations going on with facilitators and with the teammates in the Zoom room. Katie O'Donnell's facilitator is Shanta Lecker.
And if you look at Team O'Donnell, what does she have left? She has to pick a goalkeeper, and she has 3 defenders left to pick. So she's limited in some ways, but it still is really about strategy.
Katie getting a little bit more animated now. Just tuning with us on Facebook Live towards the end of a 13-round draft and about to put the bow on round 10 is Katie O'Donnell.
Defender, Amber McKenzie.
Amber McKenzie. She will wear number 1 in the program. Mother of 2 boys, Storm and Bolt.
Great names. Great names.
Bolt better have speed.
She has speed as a defender. I mean, she's had a great career at North Carolina. She's got national team experience. She went to 2 World Cups, and she told us that she's been using the UNC workout packet to stay in shape, which I love that.
Such a fierce competitor. If you're passionate about it, Amber says, try it. We are about to try round 11 on for size. 11 of 13, and beginning with Katie O'Donnell.
Defender, Sarah Brown.
Take Sarah Brown off your board. Played collegiately at Colorado. She and her singing sisters. Did you see this? Abby and Audrey and Sarah have sung the anthem when they were little at Fenway, like age 9, and recently at Colorado Rockies games.
That's amazing.
3rd oldest in a family of 9. Better get to the dinner table quickly.
I would probably say that she's a good competitor if that's
Yeah.
the case.
Meg Dowdy ready with her selection in round 11.
Izzy Mcmahon, attack.
Piece by piece now coming off the board. Izzy says she lives to compete. She's one of 5 sisters who play lacrosse. It's just part of her DNA. She is a player with who comes out of Southern Cal, the Women of Troy. Angie Benson's on the clock in round 11. She has both Parekhas on her squad, and she's ready with her selection in round 11.
Brit Brown, goalkeeper.
Somebody to be in that goalie stable, and it's Brit Brown. And as we have gotten to know Brit in the weeks leading up to Athletes Unlimited, a tremendous person and a great character.
She really is, and she is a competitor in everything she does. I had the pleasure of playing with her at Virginia for a year before she transferred to Penn, and in everything that she does, she puts her mind, body, soul into it. She is a great person and a great player, and I'm so happy that she has this opportunity at Athletes Unlimited.
You told me she's one of the smartest people you've ever met.
Yes, she is. She's on the trading floor.
Yeah.
She's brilliant.
Congratulations, Britt. She'll be in the cage with Angie Benson's squad. Team Ohlmiller will round out this 11th round overall. Thumbs ups means she's good to go. Kylie, the mic's yours.
Kathy Rudkin, defense.
Another defender selected. This time it's Kathy Rudkin, who played at Maryland. She and her dad, Jay. So Kathy's from San Diego area. She and her dad, Jay, they were part of the Dawn Patrol, surfing in San Diego. Surf's up for Kathy in round 11. At the end of it, we are about to go to round 12. This is a 13-round draft. Kylie Ohlmiller, right back to you.
Nicole Levy, attack.
Wasting no time to select Nicole Levy out of Syracuse. Another of the Gary Gate disciples. Gary now going to coach the men's squad. Kayla Trainer taking over the women's squad with the Orange. Levy has benefited from their training.
I think a lot of players, whether you played for Gary or you didn't, have benefited from what he has done to the game. I like to call him one of the founding fathers.
There'll be a 2-point shot in Athletes Unlimited, and Nicole's intrigued by that. We'll see how early she takes one of those 2-point shots. In round 12, let's go for Angie Benson.
Defender, Mary-Kate Bonani.
Bonani comes off the board. She'll be wearing 39. Mary-Kate Bonani, 4-year starter with Cornell, who finished up her college career at Ohio State.
And she's coming off a really good college season, leading her team at Ohio State in caused turnovers. Again, huge point benefit in Athletes Unlimited.
Team points will be awarded. Individual points will be awarded. Every moment counts in these games, and we'll be drawing your attention to the leaderboard regularly. The top 4 point scorers after the first weekend will be the new captains in our next draft. This is the inaugural Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse Draft, and the next pick belongs to Team Dowdy.
Mira Shane, goalie.
Meg takes Mira Shane out of the University of Michigan. And she says she plays for the others around her. Good teammate. Team Dowdy will be tapping into that positive energy for sure as we are set for round 12 to conclude. Katie O'Donnell's on the clock. Shanta Lecker is her facilitator. We've seen throughout the draft tonight, we've been able to eavesdrop a little bit inside the Zoom rooms. Katie's ready with her selection in round 12.
Defender, Holly McGarvey-Riley.
Holly McGarvey-Riley, who played collegiately at Princeton, class of 09, a first-team All-American. Holly Riley will be wearing number 2 this season. Dana training for 6 months. She's using her little boy Liam as her medicine ball for Russian twists.
I think it just speaks to every athlete in this league, but especially if you've graduated in 09, 08, 10. I mean, you've been out of the college game for a while, but their skill level is there and their heart is there. And I'm excited to watch Holly McGarvey-Riley play. You know, she is the head coach for the Argentina national team. She has experience. She's got this field hockey background. So when I think of field hockey, I think as a defender, you know how to pick up a ground ball.
So we are finished with 12 rounds. And we remind you, the teams are trying to fill out their rosters with 4 attackers, 4 midfielders, 4 defenders, and 2 goalies. We should let you know that for this initial week, we'll be shy 2 selections. So we're going to pick to 54 in this first week. O'Donnell has a choice between goalies. The other players will be dispersed automatically. O'Donnell starts round 13, the final round of this draft.
Goalie, Amber Hill.
Amber Hill is the selection. The sport of lacrosse created by the Haudenosaunee. Amber has such great respect for her people, and she was so grateful for Athletes Unlimited being inclusive of family and children. Amber has a daughter named Jordan. She'll be in the cage. In round 13, the next pick will be chosen by Kylie Ohlmiller. And if we've done our homework correctly,
Katie
it should
Glynn,
be a goalie.
goalie.
Yep, there it is. So Katie Glynn is that selection. Netminder who played with Loyola, top 8 in stops all time during her career with the Greyhounds.
Yes, I mean, she is a student of the game. She was when she played, and she still is, and it's going to be great to see her perform in the cage.
Katie was thrilled with Athletes Unlimited playing for causes. She says it's an amazing part of this summer of pro lacrosse. And these are the lineups. Dana, have a look. And if there's anything that jumps out to you, we have so much talent in this league. And now we can understand how these teams, gold, orange, blue, and purple, will practice through the week leading up to the initial games, the inaugural games played on Friday.
I mean, that is what surprises me. You look at each individual team, and there is so much talent, and it's hard to say who will win because there are amazing players on either team, and I'm excited to see these women get to perform on the stage.
Dana, you and I will be getting together on Mondays in the weeks ahead with these drafts. Courtney Martinez-Connor will be joining me on the TV side. Here's your week 1 schedule. You see the doubleheaders on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday, tickets available. Fans will be on site at Hendricks Field in Boyds, Maryland. That week 1 schedule of Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse. For Dana Boyle, for all the men and women in our crew, for all the athletes, Joe Beninati, thanks so much for your time. We'll be seeing you soon with Athletes Unlimited Lacrosse.